Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, there's a chance we could see a few flurries. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny skies and a high around 46. Tonight, mainly clear skies with a low around 28. And tomorrow, we'll see more sunshine to go along with warmer temperatures. The afternoon high expected around 64. I'm meteorologist Kyle Buckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman? I need my mic on, Doc. You got me? Yeah. What up, Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, on the ones and twos. We are Old School, brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop. 2 Lincoln locations, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill. I always say every type of meat, every type of cut. Got a little sunshine out here at 1040 Oak Street, about to last about another hour or two. So do not be bashful. Light that grill up because it's starting to get above about 40 degrees here for a quick minute before, get into the nighttime. But plenty of stuff going on. College basketball stuff, NFL stuff, obviously football stuff. We got spring football going on. And, it's never a dull moment. We had the first, I guess, full introductory of our new AD. Thought it went well. It's kind of one of those things. If you look too far into it, it's like when you get up there and everybody judges either a preview of a movie or anything like that. But I think overall it went pretty well. But before we get into that, we're going to talk some NCAA college basketball, and I want to ask you guys if this is a reaction to Mr. Taylor, I guess technically still the player on the Toronto Raptors, that he had the prop bet that he wasn't going to score, I think, 3 points, right? Or something. And there was, I think, over $500,000 bet that he would do the under. I think he ended up having 0 points. Might even got an injury, but then obviously when there's big bets like that on I wouldn't say insignificant player, but a player that doesn't play a lot, sets off the alarms, and especially with the baseball betting scam that hit Alabama, and then obviously led it all his way up to the Iowa schools and so forth and so on. The NCAA called for a ban on all college prop bets. It's not for sure. I want your guys' reaction to it, because there's obviously been a reaction to bigger stories in the past, which goes up the food chain all the way to the NBA and obviously other places as well. I want your guys' thoughts on that, because we have to also educate people. Not too long ago, this would never ever been a discussion. Now betting, prop bets, being able to bet on fantasy, being able to do fantasy in college. Because remember when you first started to be able to do fantasy, kind of DraftKings, you weren't able to do college players. Now you can do anything. What's your guys' initial thoughts on that, considering how far the NCAA has came, but then better yet, how fast they've come to partner with betting on anything and everything in college sports.
Pimp's gonna pimp, man.
Yeah, they've been pimping. They might be the best pimps of all time.
What's what we talked
play for
about.
free, and I'm gonna get mad when you get money.
Yeah, we can act, clutch your pearls, because they figured out that the folks who said they were about your young people were really about money. They're
about the young people that can make them money. They just left that part out.
Well, here's the thing: that if 86% of the people who play the sport at the collegiate level, at the Power 5 level, are below the poverty line when they get to college.
Yeah.
What is their greatest need? What do they need when they get they need resources, they need money. So it's always been that case. I mean, this isn't a current day deal. You can go back to the old New York basketball days and the scandals of point shaving and whatnot, because they always knew that they could reach young poor people and get them to affect things and make money off of them. Now, here's the question I asked all along. Why would you want to be able to bet on a teenager? Who wants to bet on a teenager? Listen, we can overcomplicate it, but I asked the question when they started doing it.
That's not probably the best. That's not my idea of hey, I got a foolproof plan.
What do you tell? They know there is a sucker born every minute.
Yeah, and there's somebody that thinks that they know the emotions of an 18, 19-year-old kid.
Yeah, and I'm not a bettor anyway. I that's why I don't do the prognostication thing, because I know there are times when literally I shared houses with pro football players and saw them the night before games, so I knew that it was a crapshoot with the grown-up professionals at the highest level on, oh man, he slept in a hotel and then sped home the time he was supposed to go straight from the team hotel to the stadium, came home to deal with the nonsense and chaos. And of course he played like crap that day because he had other stuff on his mind. No, who's going to bet? I don't know whether the starting center's girlfriend broke up with him, whether his parents have groceries that week. I don't know whether his roommate and him had a fight. I don't know if he's struggling in chemistry. So why would I want to bet on that? And two, why would I allow the additional burden to be put on him? Why would I not protect the young people from that by saying, we're going to remove this additional thing, this unnecessary thing, we're going to remove it from the table so that you can focus on the things that we say you're here for,
right?
Which is academics and having athletic success.
Yeah, it's just interesting that how it all came about. I mean, obviously it's been probably trending this way just based on the Alabama thing was just last year, and obviously baseball season starting to get started right now. And then it led to Iowa State and Iowa, and then then it was these guys were going to be suspended forever. And then you saw the guys that were suspended, you saw some of them play this year as well. And I think even the defensive lineman maybe for Iowa that missed last year might be able to play this year. He's number 99, little short dude.
Noah Shannon.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if he's able to come back, but I remember, Coach Ferentz was not really even phased by it, right? And he practiced all the way up until
say that again, Jay Foreman.
I mean, he was phased by it. I can't speak for him, but what I'm saying is it was like, he was just like, well, he's practicing with us. He hasn't been suspended yet. He's not starting. He's just a rotational player. Okay, let's talk about the quarterback battle. I mean, I think, in a leadership position, you got to make sure that you are providing some sort of calmness in the because it was rocky. I mean, you got to think it blasted. I mean, you got to think it started at baseball, then you leaked over to Iowa State, football, then it came to Iowa, basketball, Iowa football, then back to Iowa State, then back and forth in other schools. Then you didn't know what was up, and then things change, and then so I just wanted to know what you guys think, thought in this first quick segment.
So we get back. What's happening in your community, so the district you live in. You know more about what's happening in your neighborhood. You know even more and are more concerned about what's happening on your street.
Right.
Because that's how it moves.
Yeah.
And if student athletes are making money in your conference, they're ultimately going to make money as your rival, and they're going to make money next to you because of you. And how long it takes before you decide,
I need to get some of that.
If everybody else is making money off of it, I might as well.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of these kids are looking at, legacy. As long as they can make a quick buck, they probably figure, obviously, being young like that, you're never going to get caught. It's not going to be me. Somebody else is going to get caught. They're not going to catch me. Like the one guy that was having his brother's name on the account. Like, yeah, I can connect it to your brother, or wasn't one with your mom. I mean, you threw your mom under the bus. So I think it's one of those things that, it's good that they don't want to do it, and I'm with DP. I'm not betting on a young kid to try to make a house payment or something like that. But there's people out there who bet on anything and everything. We talk about it at times. I never grew up in a household where we bet and didn't play cards or anything like that. So it's not. I don't get the thrill of watching a football game that I have zero control over. Mm-hmm. That I'm going to be like, oh, I gotta sit here for 4 hours and I can't move in like a frozen position, so forth and so on. But we got to get back on time. We got to go to break, but we got breaking news. So now we get to think about this during the break. And so now as things change all the time, you got to pivot. And this is the price of success, and then also price of when you're building a team and you want to do what's best for you. One of my favorite players on the team, CJ Wilcher. We just got a text from our texter, unknown texter, 2655, that he has entered the portal. We're going to go to a quick break. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, and when we come back, we'll give our thoughts on it. We talked a little bit about yesterday. I think Blaze Keita's in there as well. Can't speak for him. Just going off what I heard. Talk about that. I think it's a price of success, and you can't fault the kid that wants to. I think CJ finally is a senior and maybe want to go on and have a bigger role. So Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, Old School. We will be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and Jay. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Koppel. So take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit. Stock number G214773.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
This Friday is Good Friday. And you know what else is good? The incredible chocolates and confections at the Chocolate Season. Help us celebrate Good Friday by joining 93.7 The Ticket for live broadcasts from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Chocolate Season in Williamsburg Village. Come see how their chocolate is made. Enjoy Easter-themed treats and, of course, live radio. The Chocolate Season, March 29th from 8 to 2 with 93.7 The Ticket. I'll see you there.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through April 2nd is buy one, get one free on 8-ounce flat iron steaks. Limit 4 per visit. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations on 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
The best time to have your air conditioner serviced is before you really need it. Call Bryant now and schedule your spring air conditioning service check. No matter what brand equipment you have, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean, inspect, and test to make sure it's ready to cool efficiently when hot weather hits. You'll stay cool and comfortable when you need it most. Just call 467-1111 to schedule your air conditioning check. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Mosaic is a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that embraces God's call and relentlessly pursues opportunities that empower people with diverse needs to live their best lives. Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska, serving Lincoln and Beatrice, would like to invite you to their monthly Discover the Possibilities tour events. Events are held on the third Wednesday of every month and are a great way to understand Mosaic's mission. To RSVP, please contact Melindy at 402-429-0088 or visit mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Happy hour.
How's life treating you, man?
Here's why people don't really respond to your questions, Nick. Are we in the circle of truth? You really want to know why? Because the feeling when you ask those questions is not very genuine. You really don't care about our feelings. You only care about Nick.
You make me sound so
It
bad.
is. You really only care about Nick.
I do care.
No, you do not.
If I didn't care, I wouldn't ask you. You only ask that question because it seems nice.
And you want to look good on the street.
That's not it at all.
It makes you sound like a nice person.
You don't care. You don't care how
You
much
really
it
don't.
was.
It's cool.
Weekdays from 1 to 2 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, 1040 O Street. Good first segment. A little bit shorter because we had a little bit of the crossover. Went a little long with my man Eastrick, which was actually a good conversation. But we ended the first segment with with a little bit of the tease that we got a text that CJ Wilcher went into the portal. Obviously people always want to know the dynamics, but I always look CJ came a long way. And improved. He kind of came in, had to work on his body. Done that I think twice. Carved out a role, went from kind of a starter to a situational player. Then he was really I think came to terms with being one of the first guys, if not the first guy off the bench. One of the best six man players in the Big Ten. Let alone it had to be, if you're one of the best in the Big Ten, you're one of the best in the nation as well. So. Look, I got a tremendous amount of respect for a player that struggles a little bit, continues to do the right thing, and then it has the breakthrough that lets you know that you're all in and you're willing to do whatever. And it takes some guts to understand that for this year, for the betterment of the team, you got to play a role, and you played it well. Obviously, everybody has holes in their game. If we didn't, if we had a bunch of guys that didn't have holes in their games, Nebraska would still be playing. So, you just wish him the best. He's a good kid, great family. Pretty sure he either graduated or was on his way. I can't speak for that. And he'll, I'm always applaud a kid that comes in, does what he has to do, and it's not always the kid's decision. I'm assuming when you have to go in the portal, sometimes it's like, hey, if I don't know how many minutes you played a game, just say, hey, last year you got 12 minutes, you're going to have to really compete for 8. Then you got to make a decision. We'll still take you back, but if you really want more minutes, more than 12 minutes, realistically, the way things sit right now, you got to go look somewhere else. I don't know if that's the conversation. I'm just playing hypotheticals there, but I'm all for him if he wants to go somewhere and try to, play more. And if somebody else has more minutes for him, you can't fault them. And so, it's a byproduct of time, but then also somewhat of having success. And that's just like I said, it's not always bad when people get in the transfer portal. So I like CJ. He'll do well. Definitely will keep a eye on him, obviously, and see where he goes. Cause I think he's, a great young dude.
There will be a jersey signed by him on the walls of this station as long as I'm the owner. And choosing people to highlight and elevate the young people that were pioneers in what we do and making themselves available and sharing their pain, joys, journey. CJ was one of those young people. And if you've ever listened to CJ is as good as there is. He shares authentically his flaws and his wishes and hopes. Nobody works harder than CJ Wilcher. Changed his body, changed his diet, changed his belief system, and did it all in broad daylight so that people could understand that in his humanity there was victory. That's pretty cool. Because not everybody willing to share themselves. So to whatever is next for CJ, it is a step forward and a step up, because that's how CJ rolls. It's just another one that we gotta send our love to and watch him from a distance now. So, and the weird thing is that it's probably not done, and they're good folks, and it's just business as it's being done. Doesn't mean you forget the people, but the business part of it, oftentimes, far too many times recently, suck.
Yeah, it's never fun. And then you got Blaze Keita going in where he came in with a lot of fanfare, or obviously with like every recruit. I mean, let's be honest. It was going to be that big presence, shot blocker, rebounder. You you saw some flashes, with him, but like I was talking about yesterday, man, with Ramel, and I think Ramel was a little bit different, but it's still just on the surface, so we don't have to keep diving into the details. It's just that a couple nagging injuries, and then the team gets on a roll, and then it's like, okay, well, then you're trying to guesstimate, right? So look, it can always work out for everybody, and I vision for both of them it will, because just like Goggles left, he ends up going to Washington and playing a big role at Washington. He looks happy and very settled in with their team, and he's starting. So and they're taking care of him. They wanted him. They went and got him once he went in the portal. So I imagine the same thing will happen to them, or happen to Goggles will happen for CJ and Blaze. And I think also for both CJ and Blaze, or any player, especially where just in basketball with the men's and women's team that go into the portal, going in the portal when you're coming off a NCAA tournament team or season you're in a more power position. And if there's a ranking system, you're going to be up, ranked a little bit higher. So it's actually a good time for him. And I'm not encouraging anybody to do it, but if it's a situation or a conversation that has to be had, they're in a better situation than you coming off and you just went like 6 and like 26, so,
the numbers are, here's like the ideal. We talk about the ideal that you want, kind of that 50, 40, 80 range for your players offensively, right? That
right.
If you can be in that range, then your minutes on the floor. Now, okay. So we do know that he shot 94% from free throw line. That's an improvement. That's a step up. He shot 40 from 3.
Right.
45 from the field. And this is the 5th leading scorer on a team while only playing 18 minutes a game. And you have to replace points.
Yeah, I mean, and you got replaced points already with Casey, and you just never know. I can only speak for myself. I'm not in those conversations, so I would never want to speak on it. It could go both ways. You might want to start. You might want to be guaranteed to start. Then you're like, well, I don't know if I can guarantee you to start. Well, there might be 3 other people who can't guarantee you to start, because again, you're on a better team than when you went in the portal. If you went in the portal 2 or 3 years ago. So there's going to be, what the price of success is, people's roles, well, if you have success, what you do is magnified, both in a negative way and a positive way. Now we're talking about a positive way off of a positive season, an encouraging season. You might have more suitors, you might have more options. So you just never know what the conversation is. I mean, CJ, like I just said, look, the improvement, the willingness to put yourself out there, to work on some of your deficiencies, both on and off the field or the court, your body, which is obviously your diet, your everyday life, which is going to change everything when you start changing your diet. And then also battle through, look, he was shooting good shots at times last year. And then they just were not going. I mean, it was like they weren't going in. It wasn't bad shots. It wasn't forced shots. They were wide open shots. He was taking more high percentage shots, right? Passing up on a corner 3, power dribble. Every coach's dream, take the shot that's more a high percentage. And then they weren't going in, but then they started to fall. And then you saw, okay, well, what is he going to do? What's CJ going to do, going into this season, right? With Derek Walker gone, they're close and all that. And then he goes back to work and he carves out a role coming off the bench, and it was a bright spot. So, I think things will work out for him. And, CJ's a kid that's already overcame, a lot of adversity, while he was here. So he's going to take the lessons learned here and just see the fruits of his labor. And same with Blaze. He just needs to get, first of all, with Blaze versus CJ, Blaze just needs to get fully healthy so you can see what everybody was excited for when we recruited him. So, a lot of pressure. You got to replace them. It's not just the points, which is what we see in the, let's say, black and white or on our screen. You're losing more. You're losing something that's not tangible off your team. You're losing a I'm assuming somebody that was able to sell your program at some point in time to some of the guys that are still at your program, or sell guys that were at your program. that have graduated to kind of, hey man, let's stay in this together. We, if I believe in it, I need you to believe in it. We believe in it. And so that's a leadership part that doesn't necessarily have to be quote unquote captain. That's exiting your locker room.
CJ's seen everything this program has to offer. I mean, he was there when it was at the bottom, and he was there for one of the best seasons, they've had in a long time.
Right.
He's seen it all. That's some institutional knowledge and culture walking out that door today.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's a guy that's, can really, really give you a real life example of growth, both personally and then obviously from a player to coach standpoint, and see how the programs change, and definitely believe in it. So he'll be sorely missed, and he's a good kid, and he'll do well. Blaze will do well, and that's just the price of doing things, and price of doing business, price of being successful. It sucks, and the initial shock, but I think that all these guys and girls that if they choose to do it, and the ones that come in are in a better position to be successful than say 2 or 3 years ago, and a lot of that is built on CJ Wilcher, because he been here when it was like, we got to push reset on the whole squad again, and he was part of the new plan that I think helped lay the foundation for where you saw it really, that was really eye-catching, a different team the last half of the season with Bryce McGowns and all those guys. And he was a part of that. And then going to that first off season after Fred got brought back and said he had a plan, CJ was part of that plan. So
and it's not, to be clear, you can't fault it. It's just one of those days when there are people that are good people who are part of the program. You want good people to be a part of a program that you're supporting and that you're around. CJ's a good person. That's literally where my head is.
Yeah, good people, and then it's sometimes that's just part of college basketball. I mean, it's the way college sports. I said it maybe Monday. A very short time. I'm telling you, you will see trades in college football or college sports, or the ability to trade. It's just moving too quick in that direction, and this is just a part of it. And it's no different than before we go to break, I was following free agency of the Raiders with Josh Jacobs, right? And he goes to Green Bay, and Josh Jacobs has been a guy that he was overlooked. He had ran for 1,000 yards every season that he was there. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option, but he got franchised. So he played on. They wouldn't give him a long-term deal because remember last offseason they wouldn't give any running backs long-term deals. Knocks it out the park again, and there were, I guess, one of the feelings are, from the Raiders down there, is that there was a lot of guys in there, probably including Antonio Pierce, that went upstairs and went to bat for him. Say like a 3-year, let's just say 35, 36, I don't know, $1 million contract, and I don't know what it is. But then he signed with Green Bay, which essentially is a 1-year deal. Prove it, even though, and then you can kind of mutually go back and just continue along the contract. And, sometimes, like you said, you think he's happy, you think he's content. Boom, he's off to Green Bay, right? He might see, the greener pastures. They look like they're a team on the come up. And bounces to the 40 ounce. So it goes both ways. Just part of today's sports. He'll do well. So, you need to celebrate him as well. Celebrate what he's done. And then, just wish him the best moving forward. And you always, come hang out because CJ's a funny little dude. Not little, but, so much younger than me as a funny little dude. So anyways, good segment there. Jay Foreman, DP Austin, Old School. We'll be back. We'll talk about some more college basketball, some NFL stuff, pick their brains on it. I have a unique idea. I'm going to jump into the Gophers there at the top of the 5 o'clock hour because I think that's a pretty cool idea moving forward, and if other people will follow suit. Jay Foreman, DP Austin, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and Jay on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Have you been accused of a crime? Is your freedom at stake? At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Facing the court is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we believe in treating every person with respect, compassion, and understanding. When legal troubles are keeping you up, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. To learn more, call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
It's getting nicer outside, but it's still hit or miss in the spring on golf weather. Not at Double Eagle Golf. Your home for always 72-degree weather and no wind. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues are underway, but stay tuned for info on indoor golf tournaments and book your bay for the Masters in April. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter. Every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design, take a computer course, learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin DP? We're back. Good 2 first segments there, and touching on some different issues. You know, that's the way it goes. This day and age of college football, which is obviously, I always say it's pro sports, but you know, then the pro sports are entertainment. But you know, what does my opinion count? A lot of stuff going on in other sports. I wanted to ask you guys about what we talked about at times throughout the whole year is the Lakers. Really quick. Obviously, I don't know if you got to see the game last night.
Come back against the Bucks?
Yeah. And it's more of a Doc Rivers question. You're not doubting his coaching acumen. He's a good coach. But you fired Griffin earlier in the year. Bring in Doc, who was, I guess, a consultant. Then he consulted enough to say, you know what, I could do a better job. Got a fat contract. You got 2 Hall of Fame players in Giannis and Dame, and you got a nice squad. You got Lopez, you got Middleton. You got a nice little squad. You did give away Holiday, who was probably like a heart and soul of your team, right? Defensive stopper, big time player, especially in that championship run. And the Lakers beat you without LeBron. Is it coming back like that with the way that they looked? Is that more a check in the good box for the Lakers, or is this a deep concern for the Bucks, considering they made the move to finally get Dame? I wouldn't say it's championship or a bust, but it hasn't been as smooth as initially thought.
Well, man, I think if you're in that situation, Doc or no, there are things wrong. There's just
right. It's still the same team.
There's some deep rooted, like you didn't
yeah.
change the personnel enough to go, okay, that was the problem. No, there's a problem, and you tried to make a fix. The problem might be your dudes. Like if you can't, I mean, I would ask this: if Doc Rivers can't fix it, there's probably some deep rooted rot in it somewhere. If Doc can't fix it, or at least to get it to reasonable, to fair to middling, and Lakers get paid too, right? They get money too, and they shouldn't be relying upon LeBron either.
Right. Well, and Anthony Davis went.
Yeah,
he played like he should have.
Yeah,
or can at times.
But no, it's not ideal. It's weird to me. Like the whole thing's weird that you got rid of the coach to begin with. And then
you're number 1 in the East.
Yeah, and then like
they're number 2 behind Boston.
Oh, they were number 2. Excuse me. Yeah.
I mean, at the time they were, I think, even 3rd or 4th. So there's been a race for 2, 3, 4 all season. I mean, Boston's 10, 11 games up right now.
Right, yeah.
And Milwaukee's sitting in 2nd. Like, there's no shame in that, right? You're still at the top of the East. You'll have home court in the first round. Did I think Doc was the fix? Absolutely not. He hasn't been a problem. He hasn't been the fix. For right now, it's a regular season comeback. Like, it happened. Milwaukee has bigger questions to answer. Yeah, you want to look better. You don't want to blow a 19-point lead. But 19 isn't really that much in the modern NBA with the pace, with the scoring.
Yeah,
it's not a good look, but they're also much worse looks, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think, but this is like the 2nd or 3rd time they've given up a huge lead, and you would think with the defense that they should have, right? When you think Lopez,
that they've had before,
it with players. I mean, he was a defensive player of the year. You got Giannis that will lock in on D. Dame's a little bit of he can be, get caught in some switches, be a mismatch, but Middleton can D up. You got some guys, but I think also I'm not a big fan of Grayson Allen, letting him go, because he improved defensively there. Now he's still, and I think he grew up a little bit, and then you let Holiday go. I think that's where it starts and stops. I think it's probably too much pressure to think Doc's going to come in on the fly after the All-Star break or right before the All-Star break, have a break where you don't practice and be like, okay, 2 practices, give us that Boston Celtics magic, and we're going to go blow through. And the Celtics are playing phenomenal. Unicorn is healthy this year, and, Brown and Tatum are doing it, plus a plethora, and Pritchard has been a great player for them as well. So I always felt like, it was just a little alarming when I was watching. I was like, it was one of those things like, oh, the Lakers will come back, but they won't win. Well, they won, and they should have won 2 or 3 times. That was probably the more alarming, because the last regulation play where Giannis didn't shoot the ball was probably the more indicative. That's probably the bigger problem.
Ben Simmons did.
Yeah, Yeah, nobody's like Ben Simmons. Leave Ben Simmons. I was watching something where they said that the NBA messed up his jump shot because no, you got to see people out there because they had it with my man Fultz, where in college they had good jumpers. Now Fultz was legit, and the nerve issue that he had is hard to diagnose
because he had thoracic outlet,
yes.
wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's not common. Ben Simmons ain't never been able to shoot, and so we can say that Giannis can shoot a little bit, not free throws, but we'll see. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break, come back, and we're gonna dive into what the Slickster PJ Fleck is doing. It's a very cool idea what he's doing. It's gonna be interesting to see if it hits off based on the Gophers' support. But for somebody that had to go to, it's called Seven Steakhouse, and bring all those donors there, say we need some more money to keep the running back and probably keep me and go get a quarterback. It's a pretty cool idea by him. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Coppell. So take that short money saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit. Stock number G214773.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, there's a chance we could see a few flurries. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny skies and a high around 46. Tonight, mainly clear skies with a low around 28. And tomorrow, we'll see more sunshine, go along with warmer temperatures. The afternoon high expected around 64. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit NEPCOinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer. Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks, exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Bagels & Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in March. Try their pesto cream cheese on any breakfast sandwich. For lunch, try the salmon panini with provolone, sesame oil, and tomatoes on a ciabatta roll with bagel chips. Perfect for Lent. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit. Update your info with LES. And if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown. Always honest answers.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares this same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
If I'm gonna watch a man run around, I want to see him run around in tights, in shoulder pads, in helmet, mouthpieces, and gritting their teeth, squinting their eyes. Some people closing their eyes and smashing into each other. That's what I want to see. That's football. That's football. That's football. Don't nobody want to see no we shall overcome type football. They want to see some rock'em sock'em hit you in the mouth football box. Exciting football.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, DP Austin, Old School. We are coming live 1040 O Street, the Mecca of sports radio in Lincoln and Omaha and surrounding areas. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients, the Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill. I always say every type of meat and every type of cut. We got a couple texters that said it's too cold still to grill. You got to be a real grill master, man. Come on, man. If you even got a smoker, they got a smoker skirt that keeps the temperature right. I always say it like when you have, when you grill in the winter, DP, in Austin, it's something that just you get it in your head early in the morning, and it's going to happen within the next 48 hours. That's the deal. So, got a lot of stuff going on, and I guess we'll get into PJ Fleck because I think it's good because we'll end on a long segment and with spring practice with Nebraska as well. I want to talk about college basketball, right? We kind of dipped into the ban on prop bets, but a lot of stuff is going on. Coach Cal is officially coming back in Kentucky. There's some big-time players already in the portal and picking places. We have my man AJ picks Gonzaga, and then you got Michi Johnson, who was the leading scorer at South Carolina. Kind of an upstart year for them. He's in the portal. We talk about, look, even when they're happy, they leave, right? Or, you got a good situation. I don't know, what the NIL or returning players situation it is. And so there's a lot going on in college basketball. And then the one thing that was probably, besides Nebraska basketball, a little bit more dear to my heart was my man Ed Cooley after 1 year, which I thought him going to Georgetown, if you're going to let Patrick Ewing go, thought it was going to be a good fit. After 1 year, in his statement, what he said was probably the more revealing thing, Austin, when he said, listen, I thought the issues they had was at said level, but the issues here at Georgetown is, he pretty much said, listen, I don't have time in my personal life or my basketball life to fix this mess. Want to talk about those. Let's talk about Ed Cooley first, because Ed Cooley, for me, I felt like was tailor-made for this Georgetown program, right? He was at Providence, had some great teams, some great players, great runs to the Big East and all that. Georgetown, I love the Hoyas, Hoya Paranoia. Ed Cooley maybe not even inked his loan on the house or whatever he's at. He probably still was in a rental. Thoughts on that? Because that's a big surprise just because it's so quick.
This is where I don't like the fact that I have to bite my tongue about stuff.
What, because Ed Cooley's leaving?
Okay. So there's several coaches on Georgetown's athletic department that I spend quality time with. And when they tell you that they can't wait to get out, that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
There's, like we've said on this show, it makes zero sense for Georgetown not to be dominant in basketball. Sitting in DC.
Yeah.
With the legacy that it has, the resources that it has, because Georgetown has money. Like Georgetown has old money, right? And you don't have a lot of facility. One, you're sitting at Georgetown. There's not a lot of room, so you can't grow. You're stuck. Like you can't grow. There's no room for you to expand.
Is he leaving?
That's what is out there, that it's a foregone conclusion.
Here's the thing. So, do you know where Georgetown University? Again, this is Georgetown University. This is a Big Ten school, a Big East school. Do you know where their home field is for baseball?
No.
They don't have one.
So where do they play?
They play at a place that was built by the Washington Nationals as a camp,
practice facility or whatever,
like a kind of local camp facility, right? That plays in Tyson's Corner, Virginia, which is 30 minutes.
But Tyson's
good
Corner,
traffic.
yeah, that's a nice area though.
Yeah, but that's like Nebraska, University of Nebraska Lincoln playing where? Gretna? No, that's Gretna with no traffic.
Warner Park, maybe.
Yeah,
that Warner Park. That's
Warner's real nice.
Yeah, but I'm saying that the length.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the baseball coach tried to help other programs and they wouldn't allow. Softball coach tried to help other programs, wouldn't allow. Football coach tried to help themselves and others, and it wasn't allowed. There are things that are going on there that just don't make sense. It doesn't like it. The frustrating part is they have good coaches in these positions, good people trying to do it the right way. But because they follow the rules, then that means you have to not only follow the good rules, you have to follow the dumb rules too.
Right.
So, yeah, it's Georgetown. You could throw a net. You could just go to a court at a high school, roll a basketball on the floor, and find three guys that can play at that level.
Yeah, I mean, this is Georgetown. I mean, this is decades. Decades. Whether it's John Thompson Jr.,
whether it's real or not, I mean, it doesn't change the fact that the issues are there.
The issues, and this is
you know.
about the issues. Like I this is a conversation that Jay and I have all the time.
Yeah,
it's rarely the people. It's usually the other people.
Yeah,
not the people. It's the other people behind the scenes who make it difficult for good people to do good business. And Jay could go and be named the head basketball coach at Georgetown tomorrow. By May 1st, he would have a starting five by spending very little money and just walking around high schools in Northern Virginia, DC, and Maryland with Georgetown jerseys and Nike shoes.
Yeah, I mean, I think where the bigger thing is Georgetown, as the Big East changed, right, which essentially went from the super old Big East, which we grew up on, went to the Big East, let's say with Kemba Walker, and then you went to the new Big East with obviously with the Creighton and all them. I think Georgetown didn't continue to grow and expand. When Patrick Ewing was there, they had some good teams, some good players. I think the biggest thing, you always measure Georgetown on two things, and Georgetown and Maryland on this: what players leave Baltimore, DC, Virginia area and go start somewhere else. Hunter Dickinson is the perfect example. Patrick Ewing's a big man. Yeah, but Patrick Ewing's a big man.
Like Luka Garza. You had a 7-footer who lived 8 minutes from campus to Georgetown.
Yeah, well, this is, I mean, Hunter Dickinson is right in Patrick Ewing's like apex. Had a good team, and then Hunter, he goes on to Michigan, does good things, and he doesn't even stay at Michigan. So, look, if you ain't playing for Patrick Ewing, you ain't playing for Juwan Howard, let's start to look at you. But you got some stuff like that. But, I think it's, Georgetown is Georgetown is like Nebraska. It's always better when they're playing well. Will Georgetown get back to when John Thompson was probably not, but when they're competitive, the Big East is better.
Mm-hmm.
When they came up here, I think, when John Thompson was, doing stuff with Kevin Kugler, And I think at the time they might have beat Creighton. I mean, that was awesome. I mean, I know we got Creighton fans, but Georgetown being relevant is always good. So I wanted your thoughts on that. Second thing here.
Georgetown's just so unique. Like
Right.
the location, the history, the way it was built. I mean, even like the color scheme. Like
Right.
Butler doesn't have the same.
How do you mess that
it's
up?
Georgetown.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't
Like
mess
Georgetown
that
was
up.
so fun. Like that old Big East, Georgetown, UConn,
Yeah.
Syracuse, Louisville, West Virginia, Cincinnati, that whole old Big East
Well,
was part of what it was because of how good Georgetown was, like helping carry
Right.
that standard.
Well,
I love that.
Georgetown was the team.
Well,
That's what Georgetown made the Big East.
AI.
Well, you remember
Dikembe.
Well,
Pat.
as Steve Harvey says, lets me further know how amazing John Thompson was, because you can be in the same house in the same neighborhood with the same people and not get the same delivery. That's how great John Thompson was. That he helped build that, and he built Georgetown from pebbles.
Yeah, Georgetown
bruh.
wasn't like Georgetown was not a hotbed job. None of those schools were, really, to be honest with you. John Thompson and Georgetown, and along with those other coaches that they had, it was the phenomenal like run of great coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Massimino, obviously, Chris Tucker, all those guys. I mean, you had the young Jim Boeheim and all those guys. Where not only did he build up Georgetown, all those great coaches built programs. He built the Big East. He built pretty much college basketball. I mean,
like the TV network,
the shoe deals and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He had to find different ways to get compensated, but then being able to compete and recruit players from all over the place. So it's, obviously you want better things for them. But another thing, as far as college basketball goes, I mentioned before, is the amount of, I guess, I guess I could big time players is probably maybe a little bit, overshooting the runway, but very significant players and programs are in the portal after having good seasons at said teams, right? So here's the example. Moochie Johnson from South Carolina, right? Great season for South Carolina. He's their leading scorer, probably their highest compensated NIL right? He's in the portal. Fran McCaffrey's son, I'm not sure if it's the same one that's dating Caitlin Clark. He going in the portal. Well, she's leaving. He going too. So, then here's the one that's most interesting right here.
Jesus.
Here's the most interesting one right here. Riley Kugel from Florida is in the portal. And
not the one dating Caitlin Clark. Yeah. That was Connor.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, then that's why. Yeah. So
what a disappointment at the family.
Right. Just looking at him sideways. And so, look, man, it's, you got a 6'5", 207-pound guard starter, was a great, had a good game against Colorado, 11 points, 4 rebounds in only 21 minutes, ran in a little bit of foul trouble, but a guard that gives them position flexibility, a legit 6'5", 6'6". Leave your program when you have an upstart program and a lot of guys coming back. I think it's just where, a look at college basketball. We talked about this in football where, or we talked about Dan and talk about his press conference. Like, yeah, you got to get retention is hard. Re-recruiting your roster is hard because you could have 5 things that you have either agreed to or promised to a player, and you knock out all 5. And he's like, all right, man, I got peace out, deuces. Because when you're thinking about like Kugel, right? And I don't know the inner workings of their locker room, so I only can go on the outside looking in. Is that you're going to be a starter? One of the guard forward guys is going to be gone, so that you got to think you're going to get more minutes, more shot opportunities, and you're a known commodity there. You're out, right? Meechie Johnson, you're already the leading scorer. So unless South Carolina is not, you're not getting a guy that's choosing between Kentucky and South Carolina going to South Carolina. Now you're in the portal. One of the most interesting ones, and I think this is a way colleges like Gonzaga will continue to always be relevant, is Michael Ajayi, right? He committed to Gonzaga. He's from Washington, right? So that's up in Gonzaga's wheelhouse. Well, what he did was he went to Pierce College in Washington, and then he transferred to Pepperdine, averaged 17 points and essentially 10 rebounds, shot 47% from 3. Now he's going to Gonzaga. I'd almost bet that he originally wanted to go to Gonzaga. They probably told him, we don't have a spot for you. You need to develop. He goes to Pierce. Do you have a guarantee? No, Timmy's still around. Hunter Salas is still there. Okay, well, I'm going to go to Pepperdine, and I'm going to show you what you missed out on. Then I'll see you soon, afterwards.
But you're not really missing out, too, because you play Pepperdine twice a year. So you basically get to monitor his development in conference.
Exactly. And what I'm saying is that's a sneaky way if you have a relationship with a player and a player really wants – look, he's from Washington. So, I mean, that's his, end game. And you are communicating with him and have maybe set forth the plan. Now, I'm almost guaranteed Pepperdine wasn't in on this, but – it could be like, all right, you got a wink deal. You know what I mean? You go to Pierce and, all right, man, we couldn't get you this year, but I promise you we'll be able to get you next year. And there you go. That's an interesting story.
I mean, Nebraska has its one door in which you leave and go to Michigan and play linebacker. And then in the other door, you pull Iowa's point guard. Yeah. Like it really.
Well, I don't think. I think Houseman leaving had more to do with Frost being fired and whatever that relationship was. The Iowa thing is a little weird because I think you was bargain shopping it, at whatever. But I think what this is here, I mean, it's almost like back in the day. You could, if I'm recruiting Austin, say back when we had like Prop 48s and JUCO was really relevant, like Kansas State when they had to build their program. Austin, look, dude, you need you to go get your grades up. Need you to put some weight on. And you know what? Our preferred JUCO is Hutchinson. Boom. All right, man. Next thing you know, man, that Austin Orman kid, man, we just saw him on a blip. And next thing you know, you're coming in, full scholarship 3 years later. So maybe that's the way teams can do it to kind of, maybe keep your roster rolling, rebuilding or reloading your roster instead of rebuilding.
It's just a never-ending recruiting cycle. Like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Like, what are y'all doing? Okay, cool. I mean, it happens. There's a fatigue that goes along with it from not being able to become emotionally invested in the programs because you can't emotionally invest in people.
Well, I mean, there's examples all around. We got all the Bellevue West guys that kind of went out where all have done great. Not all of them, can't speak. There's 2 of them, right? St. Thomas, right? He went to the Chicago school. Then he was out in Denver. Played great. He's back in the portal. Leading scorer, all conference, all that. Well, he declared for I think he did he hit the triple, right?
He's testing the waters, maintaining college eligibility.
Yeah. Testing the draft and then also getting in the portal. Kyle from South Dakota State, same thing. Frankie Fiddler, right? Who's obviously letting you know he probably should have been Power 5 from the get-go. My man's dropping 30 points like his left and right. I was going to say a little something about somebody who used to drop hits, but we ain't going to go on there right there. I just have went down a rabbit hole, but that has been my porcelain throne, what I've been going on. I got to let it go. But I think that's the way college basketball is. Just kind of like it's going to be like rent a player.
A couple other interesting names that I see in the portal. I assume we're going through the same list. Eddie Lampkin, who was at TCU, went to Colorado. Almost had DJ Burns versus Eddie Lampkin, which would have been so much fun. See those two go against each other. Right. How about this in the Big Ten? Joshua Ola Joseph from Minnesota.
Oh, he gave us he gave us work. He was a junkyard dog up there in Minneapolis in the barn. He used to single-handedly erased a 15-point lead at halftime.
Yeah, really. It's another thing. It's the same thing that drives me crazy about the draft. But the transfer portal makes it's that much worse because it's always, who would be a really good fit at Nebraska?
Everyone.
Everyone. Every great player.
Tony Perkins. I will trade Aaron Eulis for Tony Perkins in a heartbeat.
I mean, yeah, they're one of.
I'm playing GM. Sorry, Aaron, never met you, but if I'm playing GM.
He went top of the list.
Yeah.
What's your number? Yeah. What's your number? Give me your number. Oh.
I think it gets to the point now. To be honest with you, this is probably a pretty good. I mean, it's a serious question. Recruiting is huge, right? And it's a 24/7, 365, because as much as you're recruiting new prospects in, 24, 25, 26, you got to recruit, 100 and however many guys you still got on your roster every single day, because you just never know when they're going to get in their feelings. And then, Uncle Otis is going to tell you, man, you look good coming back home. And then you're like, yeah, maybe so. And then you don't come back on from spring break or something. Is the ability to, let's see, what would be the name of a roster manager?
GM.
You need a GM, then you need like a operations guy, and then you need somebody that can just like sit here and just look at your roster.
Director of player personnel.
Right, or something. Just like
Don't forget the lawyer, compliance.
Yeah, but they're not. They're not going to be as big as role as somebody that's the way college basketball is going. You have to be like projecting. Okay, Austin went from 4 points last year. He increased to 11 points. What's the percentage? He decides, you know what? Nebraska was cool. Let me go try somewhere else. You're going to have to start doing that because you're seeing plenty of situations where that's happening. Now, you don't know all the like the ins and outs of it, but there's a lot of really good situations basketball-wise and football-wise as well, where people will be like, you know what, yeah, I'm going to try to quote-unquote level up and go to big. Because you see it all the time. You go and get a mid-major quarterback, mid-major player. We're talking about Coach Cal. That's what he's going to have to do. He can't go and just go 4- and 5-star recruit. You got to go get somebody that's, a team and a glue guy.
That's what Antonio Reeve was supposed to be. And he played his role pretty well. Trey Mitchell did the same thing, but he was hurt a little too often. But I think he tried to do that this year.
Right. But when you have a couple of them take over, it's hard to really lean on those guys. So you're going to have to be able to mix those guys because he can't afford to continue to go home in the first round. So somebody that's, kind of being able to consistently guesstimate where you're at roster-wise and be ahead of the curve, because this is just the first day, essentially.
Can I ask you a legitimate question, sincerely? Would Coach Osborne have been good in the transfer portal era or better?
Oh, he could recruit.
Like,
the one thing about him,
right?
but we had the ultimate equal. We were dominant. It was like Alabama. It's like Georgia. Yes, you're going to lose players, but as we've seen, some of the guys, been 2 or 3 other places. So I think he would have done fine because Coach Osborne, one thing Coach Osborne never did, he never lied. Like he never lied to me. You know what I mean? Extremely hard on us, but fair. He was big into, knowing who you were. And he only can talk about the NIL and all that stuff, but I would like to think with the way that we were playing, the personalities we had, everybody would have been eaten. Everybody would have been eaten. Yeah. Because the one thing that we were able to do that a lot of teams haven't been able to do is the main thing was always the main thing. And we had a strong enough locker room. If somebody was kind of getting off track, you would just be asked nicely the first time to get it back on track. Then we'd have forcibly pushed you back in there. And plus you have enough depth that you could do that. So I think he would have done fine. Probably would have been frustrated, but I think that he would have had a plan for it. I mean, he always was a planner. And I think the one thing I could say about Coach Osborne and the staff is always look at guys that have the ability to adjust, even though you're successful, right? Coach Osborne, Coach, Brown probably been here talking about it. They were able to get to the Orange Bowl. So first they were able to beat Oklahoma, right? Then you start winning and going to the Orange Bowl. Well, then it was just like a free trip to Miami and you're getting beat, right? Well, then that wasn't good enough. Well, then you're like, okay, well, we're doing this good enough to get to point A or B, but we got to get to A and then championship level to make an adjustment and then continue to adjust. So I figured he would do the same.
Okay. Yeah, just not like I'm just wondering with so much talent and such a great depth pool, especially in this, like you knew you had teammates that were money first, even in the era where it wasn't money first.
Yeah, but those dudes ain't never gonna change. Those are the same dudes.
Yeah,
they ain't changed, and that's and those are the 10, 15. Now I'll say this before we go to break. Just say back then, just because of the rules, you couldn't go anywhere. It's say 2%, right? There's 2% of your roster could leave or would leave or tap out or be the guys that just wouldn't fall in line, right? It would probably grow to like, that's why you would need that person that project, because it's more of a personality assessment. It might go up to 12%. But if that's still that core of high 70s, high 80s with the players that we had.
Third and fourth team, practice squad guys that were never going to see the field behind all NFL dudes. They had to peek over the fence just to wonder what it was like. Like, wait a minute. I just ran 90 yards against Iowa State. I think I could start for that.
That's exactly that's exactly where you get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because you have guys that make a couple plays and then all of a sudden they arrive. All of a sudden you know what, man, you're as good as Mike Rozier.
Yep.
Or you're good as Lawrence. You remind me of Lawrence Phillips. No, you don't. You ain't even better than my man Jay Sims. Big shout out to Jay Sims. Big the best Madden player I ever seen in my life. No offense to Mongreen. Jay Sims right there. He took 8 hours before he even got on the start of the game because he would put Deion Sanders at like receiver and all this other stuff. I just wanted to play. And after that, you just like go ahead and win. Anyways, Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring is on its way. Are you prepared to keep the grass greener on your side? Blades Lawn and Landscape has a position opened at a homeowner association to their client list with residential and commercial openings also. Transform your yard into a private oasis with the professional services offered by Blades Lawn and Landscape, including landscape walls and beds and a 5-step fertilizer program applied by a licensed professional. Call them today at 402-730-6320 or go to bladeslcc.com to schedule a free estimate on commercial or residential lawn services.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
If I'm going to watch a man run around, I want to see him run around in tights and shoulder pads and helmet, mouthpieces and gritting their teeth, squinting their eyes, some people closing their eyes, and smashing into each other. That's what I want to see. That's football. That's football. That's football. Don't nobody want to see no we shall overcome type football. They want to see some rock'em sock'em hit you in the mouth football box. Exciting football.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, old school. Some good conversations. There's always unique ways to grow your program by any means necessary, and also put the pressure on people to, I think it's one of those things that you take it away to make it more people, to create more interest. So if you guys hadn't read up on is PJ Fleck and the University of Minnesota football program have decided to make spring football, limit the access, right? And the spring game won't be, I think, public, but what they've done is decided to make any access essentially behind a paywall. And, you know, it was just interesting just because of, you know, we don't obviously cover Minnesota extensively as, you know, we need. I mean, we shouldn't, right? But I know Ron Johnson, he's up there, he covers them, talk to him all the time, see him, you know, quite often as well. And so, you know, we just text back and forth about different things. And, you know, he's like, man, we're struggling with, you know, NIL, even though we have good alumni, we're still coming out of the dark ages of a lot of athletic department issues that they've had for all the way back, say like when Clem Haskins was there, but PJ has pushed the envelope, changed the pro football program, changed the culture identity, turned down jobs, re-upped, and he just got re-upped here recently. But they were having trouble potentially keeping some of their, you know, good young players, and particularly the running back, who was a freshman running back, had over 1,000 yards, was definitely a problem. Was able to keep him and a couple of the receivers that he got through the transfer portal, and was able to go get his quarterback essentially day one. And so he got some donors to step up. What I like about it's a unique way to say, okay, I like how you stepped up. Now we're going to step up. So let's put the pressure on the regular fan base, I guess, right? I mean, it's just everybody else, alumni and all this other stuff. And so all the practices, all the access is behind a paywall. I'm assuming some of that money will go to the NIL and obviously the football program. But I think I wanted to ask your guys' opinion. One, what you think about the idea. Is it only really to schools that need to kickstart, you know, different ways of fundraise? Or do you think this is something that potentially, you know, could be more on the regular?
What do pimps do, Jay? What do pimps do? If they once you state that you are in the money business rather than the people business, then the people are irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
if you tell me that you literally are looking for ways to monetize athletics and you're making your recruiting about money rather than your system, rather than academics, rather than matching cultures, matching another thing, it becomes about money. And then you can no longer complain. You'll have the haves and you'll have the have-nots. The only debate and battle is trying to figure out, one, which group you belong to, and two, how do you stay at the top if you're there, and how to get off the bottom if you're there. That's if you're Minnesota and you have to battle Michigan and Minnesota and Ohio State and USC and Oregon where money flows. You need more money, bro. The gas bill just went up. Your grocery bill, there are no more McDonald's in your neighborhood. You have to go to Whole Foods, and everything costs more.
You got bougie, right?
Yeah,
you got bougie.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm laughing at it. So the kid Jacoby Gillespie. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Average
Went to Maryland, right?
Yeah, right. And you just go, it's so much about that for Nebraska to understand what it has to do and compete. It immediately looks at a team that finished behind you, that just added a 22-point scorer at the jump of transfer portal.
Yeah.
How many 22-point scorers game does Nebraska have on its roster for next year? Yeah, you got to go shopping, and it requires money.
Yeah, I think it's a look, every little bit, you just never know what thing that you could try, unique way. I mean, it's just essentially another way of fundraising. And if you create good enough content, you'll obviously get more eyes to the to the content, and obviously grow your program down the road. It's just interesting to me
don't you have to deal with it as an AAU coach?
Right.
Don't you have to pay attention to the tournaments that the local teams around you go to?
Yeah.
You have to pay attention to the gear that they have, right? Do they have a shoe deal, cool deal? Do they have 14 uniforms to wear? Right? Yep. You have to worry about it. And then you're good with it because you're focused on you until it starts to reach your kids, because they go, well, Coach Jay, why don't we have 3 pair of Nikes?
Right.
Why don't we go to Las Vegas instead of going to Omaha?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
Right?
I mean, the basketball thing is just kind of the same thing. I mean, it's I never knock anybody's hustle. I'm here to coach kids because I like coaching, and they like my coaching, they get better, and I just leave it at that. But for this year in particular, we've had some success, and players have had. I view or measure my success off what the players do. Winning. You could go around and play a bunch of chumps and win a whole bunch of trophies. I don't have any of them. So it's this year I wasn't going to coach. I really wasn't. I had some stuff change. And so I tried to dive into it, but I would realistically would have. I've talked to DP and you, Austin, about this offline. I literally would have probably was willing to hand a bigger organization a team that can compete in this circuit. Now, do they have LeBron and Cooper Flag and all these? No, they don't. But they played a year up last year. They played a year up 2 years in a row. Didn't receive a phone call back. I mean, you got more established programs versus grassroots with, Nebraska Hoops Elite, with Greg Hedburn, who does a great job in trying to develop. And that's some of the things you fight. You got players here locally that play for local high schools. That, the thing we talked about, who's looking over the fence, you got players that might be able to dunk, or I always say they have this Jolly Green Giant, you were bigger than everybody in 8th grade and everybody sees the potential, but you're not really that good. Those guys are the ones that'll hop on you because they're chasing the
imposter syndrome in basketball is real. It's real.
And
in coaches.
They're opportunists because you might be invested in them, right? So there's you talk about there's no loyalty. So you're truly invested and loyal to them when you could have probably picked up somebody better. Well, as soon as Austin or a coach over here is like, oh man, you're LeBron or whatever, they're gone. So that you do fight that some, and you have to find different ways to be appealing to them. You have to continue. You can't just stay pat driving back and forth between Omaha as players progress.
Going to Kearney.
Yeah. You don't do that in the summer, right? You do that in the fall. But so you gotta push. You gotta put yourself out there. You got to put your players out there. You got to appeal to players. You got to recruit players. It's something I've never really had to do because I don't really understand it, whereas a kid will go back. We had a couple kids that went to the program, got cut. You know, I was always investing. I understand you're a kid. Like I'm, you know, honestly, I've been 15 before. But then you'll be like, all right, let me go back because 2 other guys decided to go somewhere else. So I said, so you're going to take breadcrumbs? You want breadcrumbs versus a loaf of bread? But those same text messages will continue to be on because
in a nice house,
right?
At a nice dinner table,
right?
It's not what you're being like. The whole Fleck thing just highlights to me the outright misinformation that some coaches and administrators has spread about what their focus was. Row the boat. He's saying about paying for a new boat. You you were talking about the
boat, not let the motor push the boat.
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta get some more people rowing. That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
we gotta make sure we get dudes that can row this bad boy.
Well, get you a better constant, right?
Hey, listen. He said, listen, I had to go get a new offensive coordinator.
You know,
I gotta get my defensive coordinator left me. Hey, we gotta go. We gotta be able to compete. And here's where I understand what PJ Fleck, and this is with me. And like when I've always coached, I've never had to fundraise, right? I've never had to prospect for, you know, and look, I coach kids from all over Lincoln, all over Omaha, and all of them, come from different, economic, social backgrounds. And so I never turn a kid away. But this is the first year that, we have to go out and fundraise. So you have to kind of, get tricky with it. And maybe that's where he's at, where he sees his program because they're at, see, the tricky thing with PJ Fleck is in Minnesota is you don't want to fall into this Glenn Mason, syndrome. Glenn Mason was a DP. It was rinse and repeat. 8-9 wins, a couple first round picks, go to maybe the Cotton Bowl, Liberty Bowl, win that bowl game. And then next thing you know, it became too familiar, too easy. And then you're like, then next thing you nosedive. That's where I think PJ and those guys are at. He's looking at everywhere else and saying, well, maybe we don't have the support. They don't have.
But why not? Does it say that he doesn't understand that he's Minnesota?
Yeah, but Minnesota, like Minnesota doesn't have the same Phoenix Suns owner that's a billionaire as one of their guys that can pay this, Mel Tucker deal, throw in money for the stupid gymnastic coach and all that other stuff. Like Minnesota doesn't have that type of support.
But
Glenn Taylor's not paying.
No,
but
no, he is not.
Right,
ever.
We understand. Do we understand? I think Nebraska fans recognize that getting coastal talent to the heartlands of America to play football in the winter.
It's time and a half.
And now the same talent. Once you tell somebody that they can play in the Big Ten, well, USC, LA is in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
UCLA is in the Big Ten. Oh, well, you can come to Nebraska and help them be great, or you can go to Washington. Well, we are already great. Oregon, we're going to give you all the stuff. It's that loaf of bread, right? Or do you want a slice of bread in the really nice house?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's getting people to see, 3 steps ahead of them instead of 3 feet, 3 long steps or, whatever you want to, the analogy is because
different times, bro.
Yeah, man. It's like you can sit there and lay it out for a kid. Listen, do you want to be legendary? He'll be like, yeah. Okay, well, you come here and work hard. And you know what? You don't have to win a national championship like we did. You actually just have to have a really good season and get in the college football playoffs. But with 12 teams, which we would have literally, with 12 teams, probably could have just not practiced all spring, took the summer off, went to training camp, and still made the 12-team playoff.
Jay, this is perfect because this is a former player of mine from Texas who at my high school, he played on a state championship team. They went to 3 straight state championships. He was never the guy. So he made his decision. He ended up getting at a really good school and had so little desire to be the guy because he had already achieved his goal not being the guy. So he got comfortable with it.
Right.
Jay, dude got in 2 games his junior year, got in 4 his senior year. In the 4 games, he caught 11 passes for 4 touchdowns. This was 4 years ago. He has all of the uniforms of this Power 5 darling. And he is now hired by the university to represent that, you know what? Even if you're not a star here,
you are a star.
You're a star and you're set for life. Sound familiar?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta, that's part of the process, man. It's
like, you're not trying to be the guy. You don't have to be one of the all-time greats.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's so much easier.
Get your money, bro.
I view it as easier.
Money.
So, hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do, PJ. And you got, I'm glad we're doing different things here, as far as the social media aspect to, make Nebraska appealing. Because I do think once you get to Nebraska or a college like Minnesota that has the weather kind of as a knock against you, you do realize that it's actually a pretty cool place to go to school.
Hey,
so,
bro.
Anyways, Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. We'll take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this bad boy on Hump Day, and then we'll send it off to what was it? 6
1-on-1.
1-on-1, and then ticket weeknights. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
This is Monster Jam.
Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. This Friday and Saturday at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Brought to you by BKT Tires, Great Clips, and the original Super Glue.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. We know that navigating the legal system is stressful and overwhelming, but Liberty Law Group will carry that burden for you. When you're facing legal issues, make the right call. 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
At Weedman Lawn Care, the term care in our name is more than part of our title. It's the heart of our company culture. If we don't care and support our team members, how can we expect them to care for you and your lawn? As evidenced by Weedman's 5-star reviews online, we consistently show our sincere care for our customers' needs. And we absolutely care for the communities we serve by donating to local schools, baseball fields, food banks, and the Ronald McDonald House. Go to weedman.com now. Our caring culture will give your family the lawn it deserves.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
When you teach your children how to set and reach goals, you'll do more than just help them succeed in school. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Motivation and goal setting build confidence and instill a drive that will benefit children their entire lives. It will also help them become more positive thinkers. Working together, parents and teachers are a powerful team for student success.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Then you can just do whatever you want. Right? Jay Foreman, DP, quick 2 hours up against the clock here. I got DP one-on-one next. So you going solo? You got
the thing it's part of this deal is that we have student athletes who have such unique insights. One, they have a different location in this thing, right?
Sure.
They can tell you what's really going on. And she's been a really good radar for what's happening on campus and the thoughts and minds of a student athlete. So Megan Walker is going to come in and we're going to chop it up because she's got the right vision for, she wants to do this professionally.
Sure.
She wants to be a sportswoman, and she's working towards it and figuring out, all the stuff. And then doing that while being a student and being an athlete is not easy.
Right.
So the fact that she manages it, keeps her head above water. Yeah, there's a lot of curiosity there.
Yeah, that'd be a good listen, man. It's always, good to, get insight of people that are, obviously boots on the ground and obviously, track season and everything like that, juggling that. It's one thing just juggling being a student athlete out of season, which is extremely hard because you got to train, maybe overload a little bit more in the class, schedule.
Yep.
But it's also twice as hard to be a student athlete, have a life or whatever you want to call it, and then also be focused, driven, determined, and willing to sacrifice for what you came to college to do athletically. So it's a great insight, man. It's a good show today. Obviously you want to, wish everybody that's going into portal success. And then obviously we will see what old PJ does. I wonder what the numbers would be like that. I would like to see a 2-year projection on how many people are Minnesota Gopher subscribers to spring football. So I watched their spring game last year. I think there might have been 60 people there. And it was bad weather.
And how many of them can actually row?
They were old enough. They couldn't do it. They were too old. But I will tell you what, though, they had bad weather, so they had to move it inside the practice facility. Anyways, Jay Foreman, DP Austin, we'll be back tomorrow. And then we got Supernovas kicking it off again. We'll holler at you tomorrow.